Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to Be With Me. We're in the book of Ephesians right now. That is season 13. We're doing episode number 32 in the book of Ephesians. Today I'm going to title our little meditation, Walk Lookingly. Walk Lookingly. We're in a very practical section where he's already talked about how we walk in love. And the first thing, at least in this section, is don't desire things sexually that are not yours. That was yesterday. And don't desire possessions or relationships that are not yours. That's idolatry and covetousness. And today, he's going to push this a little bit further, kind of keep going on the how do we walk aspect. And he's going to say, don't abandon truth. Don't abandon the light that's already yours. Don't abandon discernment that is already yours. Don't abandon the people group of wisdom, wise people surrounding you that's already yours. Don't become partners with them. And then on the positive side, he charges them, kind of revs them up a little bit and says, hey, you're the light of the world. You are children of the light. You have discernment already. You have the fruit of the light. That is all the things that are good and right and true. So listen in here. This is from Ephesians chapter 5. I'm going to read starting in verse 6, Ephesians 5, 6. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience. Therefore do not become partners with them. For at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of the light. For the fruit of light is found in all that is good and right and true. And try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord. We're going to come back to that. Try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of the things that they do in secret. But when anything is exposed by the light, it becomes visible. For anything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. And then here's our title verse, verse 15. Look carefully. That's where I'm getting the walk lookingly. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise. Look carefully then how you walk. So that's where the summary title is, to walk lookingly. All right, so this is a call for rightness, for lightness, for truth, and I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for being here and listening for 7 minutes for a little dose of truth, to reorient us, to get us all on the same page as we maybe start our day or consider where we are in our day. The charge here today, and I think this is actually relatively easy. I'm going to make a contrast here. He says, try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord. And honestly, I don't think it's that difficult. I think that is, it's wise to put the question in play. But the irony is, I think we can answer that question when asked. So I think when you have a choice to, let's say, be angry today and to say an angry word, and if you put the barometer into that pot and say, hey, I'm going to discern right now, is this angry word going to be pleasing to the Lord? I think you have the wisdom to say, nope, I think the angry word is not. Or if you have a covetous thought, or if you have a chance to speak malice of somebody, if you put the barometer of discernment in there and say, is this a wise thing to do? Would this please the Lord if I speak malice or I have a covetous? I think you'd be able to say no. So I think the question is less so not what's pleasing to the Lord. I think that's not really the question of the day. I think the question of the day is, am I asking the question of the day, which is, would this please the Lord? So I don't think the discernment is beyond our reach, but frequently the asking about the discernment it's not on our lips. So what is really pleasing is that we ask the question in the first place. Would this please the Lord? And I think that's, 99% of the battle. So the weakness is not in the discerning. I think the weakness is in the asking. So the charge for me is to let's ask the question, because he bumps them up and he says, hey, you are light. You are light in the world. You're children of light. I've already given you some fruits of light, and therefore you kind of have this discernment. And the question is, how am I using it? And how do we use discernment? Well, first you have to ask. You have to walk in the light, to walk discerningly. You have to start by walking lookingly. Walk lookingly, walk askingly, walk discerningly, walk curiously, walk actively. And I think the answers are, and I'm putting this in quotes here, quotes, easy. I think the answers are easy if we look. The answers are easy. The looking is the hard part. That's the big point for today. And at risk here is the wrath of God, deception, unfruitfulness, foolishness, and ruin, and deception and disobedience. That's all in the passage. So I think he's saying put your spiritual head on a swivel. Check your six. Be careful. Let's look out there. God has already granted us the skills of godly living, wisdom, and discernment. And I think the using of them is not that difficult if you ask the question. So he's already given us light. He's already given us indwelling. He's already made us children of light. He's already made us family members of light, if you will. He's given us the discerning skills. He's shown us what is good and right and true. So my prayer today is, yes, to have eyes to see what is pleasing to the Lord. But even more so, that I and you would walk in a way that we are actually looking for that. We're looking for what is pleasing to the Lord. So let's go out today and let's look for it. And then I think it's relatively easy to please God. The hard part is to let's walk lookingly. Thanks for listening.